Hiya and welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown with The Sun. And we've all got to be on our best behaviour today because we are joined by my boss. Everyone, this is Rod McPhee. He is The Sun's TV editor. So we're going to get some real intel here.
Oh, yeah.
He is the man in the know, and he's going to be sharing with us his expert opinion on the Housemates, the series so far, and everything that he thinks. And, you know, he comes from a very important place because just a couple of weeks ago, he was busy voting on the BAFTA TV Awards. We revealed some of those today in the paper, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
What was the biggie? It was Bex.
It was Beckham, yeah. He's going to potentially win a BAFTA for the TV moment of the year. For that funny little interaction that they had where she claimed that she was working class and he pointed out that she was taken to school in a Rolls Royce every day. So that went viral and that could end up winning them a BAFTA this year. It's amazing.
Do you think that any other moments so far on Big Brother could win a BAFTA?
No. Or is there? What do you think? That's a good question. I'll turn that back on you.
I feel like potentially even a moment in last night's show where someone popped a pound in Sharon and she dressed up in David's coat, she had the hat on and she was doing her little catwalk.
Yes, I did see that. And actually, I think she came across really well when she was doing that because you kind of think of her as this sort of queen and slightly diva-ish, and she just didn't take herself too seriously in that moment. That was a really good moment.
Yeah.
And Sharon overall, I think she was a bit of a triumph, don't you?
Definitely. I saw people last night talking online about how, if this is the last time we see Sharon on TV in that way, which probably is, unless there is a dabble of a Osbourne's reality type format.
Yeah.
What a way to go out. Like, she smashed it, I think.
They had that emotional farewell sort of afternoon tea.
Yeah.
And you could see, like, she was quite tearful and they were quite tearful. And it was like they were sort of saying goodbye to her forever, not just from the show.
It was like she was bidding TV adieu in a way, wasn't it?
Yeah, or the world. It was incredibly emotional.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever seen Sharon Osbourne actually shed a tear before. Maybe she has, and I can't remember it. But it was a really moving moment.
Yeah, it was.
And I think she's come out of this very well. I think she's come out of it with people thinking that she's probably a little bit nicer, dare I say, than they thought that she was. Because obviously she had to play to the cameras when she was on the X Factor. She had to be, she's a judge. She has to be judgy.
Yeah.
Whereas this just was an opportunity for her to be herself.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Do you agree that she came out of it well?
Oh, yeah, 100%, because I think that's the thing. Her and Louis, obviously, we know them as judges. We know them having to have an opinion, and we know that on those shows like the X Factor and the like, usually the opinions we got from them, the volume was turned up.
Yeah.
Because they needed to be funny or sassy or bitchy and the nasty Nigel vibe. But, I feel like we got to know her a bit. And there's a whole generation that probably never knew that Sharon.
Yeah.
From the Osbournes way back.
Yeah.
But I think that that's potentially looking like it might be Louis' downfall.
Yeah,
is that
absolutely.
We're getting to know him. And actually we're chatting to someone later who's going to be giving us a little bit more of an intel about how the house can sometimes throw a light on other sides of personalities. So we're speaking to CBB legend Nicola McLean later. So stay tuned for that one. But I wanted to ask you, Rod, now that Sharon has left, there's a vacancy for sort of head of the house. They all gravitated around Sharon, didn't they?
Yeah.
She was sort of almost like the moonstone that they all just went to. Who do you think is going to become the new head of the house?
That's a very good question. I mean, the obvious candidate seems to be Louis, but I think Louis might be too controversial a person for them to, because there'll be certain people that love Louis, and I think that Louis will also be divisive, and there'll be certain people that don't like Louis, and those that hover in the middle. I mean, you saw last night, they had to sort of answer all these questions. Who do you think's the least trustworthy, for example? Well, he got named, and you can't really have like a head of the house that nobody trusts. Maybe it could be a Fern Britton job. Maybe it might end up being Ekin Su that steps up to the plate, or maybe it's a chance for other people to shine like Nikita.
Yeah.
I really don't know. There isn't an obvious choice, put it that way. And I think Louis might seem like an obvious choice, but I don't know. Louis is too divisive in my mind.
And you think, we were chatting about this earlier, that Sharon leaving obviously is going to have a big impact on Louis.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to act in the next couple of days?
I think he'll find his feet over the next couple of days. I think he will sort of see what the lay of the land is, to use another cliche. But the trouble is that I think that Sharon left, and they had this thing last night where a few people expressed the fact that they didn't trust him or that they thought he was the laziest. I think Fern made that point. So he'll be slightly on his guard now, which is perhaps why there's sort of talk of him potentially walking. He might think, well, shall I quit while I'm ahead? Shall I stay and chance my arm and see if I can rebuild my popularity? So yeah, he's one to watch, is Louis, very much.
I think that so tonight we will see the face-to-face nominations that they're having to do. So it's in the kissing booth, and one of those nominations is really, really surprising. And we'll share the tea with you on that later. So stay tuned for that one. But I think that might almost prove a bit of a catalyst for Louis as well. Someone in the house that he thought was an ally has sort of turned against him. So
wow,
juicy.
Yeah, really juicy.
So we're halfway through.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you for Rod McPhee's halftime report.
No problem. Yeah. I mean, first of all, I can't believe we're halfway through. It feels like it's just started. And here we are, what is it, like day 9, day 8?
Yeah.
So I think we've got a sense of some of the people already. Do you want to run through the names?
Yeah.
I'll give you my verdict.
Yeah, of course. So we've obviously talked about Louis already.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
Yeah, I think that Louis has been one of the best housemates so far. Whether you love him or hate him, he has something to say. And also, if Louis had gone into the house, a little bit like Sharon, if Louis had gone into the house and been disappointing in terms of dishing dirt and the gossip, then we would have all been incredibly disappointed. So we can't beat him up too much for doing really what he was probably sent into the house to do. So I think he's definitely an A-, shall we say.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't give him an A or an A+, because I think he's perhaps been a bit too bullish at times, but he's definitely been one of the best housemates so far.
I love that when these people sign up, and Louis Walsh was one of the housemates that we revealed was going to be going in.
That's right.
A Sun exclusive. We sort of say that he's got this sort of litany of showbiz gossip to share, and bosses hope that he'll be doing that. And then all too often that doesn't end up happening.
That's right.
But he's delivered.
Oh yeah, he really has, and
he's over-delivered.
Yeah, I think he delivered a bit more than the ITV bosses expected. But I mean, I actually think that behind the scenes they'll be rubbing their hands.
Oh yeah.
I do also suspect, though don't know, that he might have said more than we get to see, because he might be dishing so much dirt that it can't be broadcast. I mean, I don't know that, but I can't. He's so loose-lipped. I kind of think I'm still surprised by how like limited the dirt is that has so far been dished.
Well, what we do know is that there's been quite close to TX some edits to what's been going in. Right. There's been several scenes that have been pushed to the limit in terms of can we keep this in. So
that's interesting.
God, I'd love to see that cutting room floor.
Yeah, I think it's going to be scattered with lots and lots of snips from Louis.
Yeah, gold, panning for gold. I mean, Levi.
I think Levi could win.
Oh, you just.
I think I'm going to stick my neck out there. I'm not saying that I think he should win. He's not a personal favourite, but not for any reason other than I think that I didn't like it when he called Coulson boring last night.
It was a bit weird how he did it as well. Yeah, unnecessary.
It was a bit like I'm not saying you're boring, but
you are.
Yes, but you're boring. And And that was weird. That was a really weird thing to say. It was like, oh, I don't want to insult you, but here's an insult.
Yeah.
And then he sort of casually said, oh, I'm sorry afterwards. And I thought, well, what, you're sorry for what? Why did you even do it? Anyway, but the point is, I think Levi will benefit from the fact that Sharon gave him glowing praise. That will linger for a long time. I think he'll be well thought of. If he can come from the back and race forward in the final week, he could win it. That's my thing. So I'm going to give him an A.
Interesting. Do you know what I sometimes think about these shows is that I sort of felt like Levi going in, people know him from Dragon's Den and they know him from Reggae Sauce.
Of course.
But they don't really know him.
Yeah.
But when I was at CBB Eviction on Tuesday night, in the family and friends area, I was chatting with Lauren's daughter, Gigi, who's 19.
Okay.
And I was asking her what she thought about the Housemates, because I think it's really interesting. Obviously, channels nowadays always trying to go for younger audiences.
Of course.
She loved Levi. She said, I know all about him, Reggae Sauce, we love him.
Yeah.
She completely knew everything about him, even before the series.
I don't think I know everything about him.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. No, look, I think he could have gone in there and been either really dull or really obnoxious, and he's none of those things.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
He's doing all right. So,
right, what are you saying? B? A?
Oh, no, A.
Oh.
Yeah, oh, definitely. But mainly because I think he's got huge potential. He's got the huge boost from Sharon. I don't think anybody dislikes him except maybe for Coulson.
Now.
Yeah, now.
Right,
as of
Fern.
last night. Fern. I think Fern, I would have given her an A grade to start with, because I think she's well known. I think she's well liked. I think she handled herself very well in the first few days. She was the first to go to Uncle Gary and sort of start grilling him, which I think got her a lot of brownie points. I think when she had, her and Ekin-Su have had a bit of friction, and I don't always feel like she's come out of it terribly well. Because you listen to it and you might think, well, Ekin-Su's a young woman, she's perhaps a bit more inexperienced, perhaps a bit more clumsy in her language, but Fern's a bit older, and if anyone's to blame, it might have been a bit more Ekin-Su. But actually, when you listen to it, sometimes you go, no, Fern, what you just said there was really clumsy and a bit inept. And actually, I think that she's probably gone down a grade or two in the past week. Do you agree?
I feel like there has been moments of, and this is coming from her own insecurities, a place of a bit of woman on woman kind of. Ekin maybe makes her feel a certain way about her age, or her not helped by when Sharon nominated Fern by saying it's because she's older than everyone else.
Bit rich coming from Sharon as well, yeah.
So I think that Fern, it could go one of two ways. Maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. She could rescue it in the last few days, I think.
So I'm guessing David.
Yeah, he's sort of in a similar camp. I think David's perhaps done better in Big Brother. I think he went from here to here.
I think David's a finalist.
I probably agree, actually. Yeah, I think he's probably will be a finalist. I'm going to stick my neck out and say I don't think he'll win, but I think he'll get close because Big Brother is a big stage and he's shining, even though not everyone likes him. So I think I'd give him a B+.
Okay, Ekin-Su. We'll finish on the lady herself.
She's a funny one. I can't work out when I'm watching her and listening to her. I can't work out whether I'm endeared to her or not. Some things she says sound very sweet and honest, and she sounds like a nice person. Other times, things she says, I kind of go, why did you say that? Where are you coming from in saying that? What are you trying to do here? And I think and I think that the voters at home will be equally confused. They don't know what to make of Ekin-Su. I don't know what to make of Ekin-Su. I strongly suspect that she could get down to the final few, or she could get booted out within the next few. I think the next few days would be crucial for her.
Yeah.
If she can win back the housemates, I think she could be in the final.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, then she really risks getting voted out. Probably with Fern leading the charge on that one.
Yeah.
So I think I'd give her a a B minus.
Oh, interesting.
But I think the grade would have been a bit higher had it been this time last week.
Oh.
Do you agree?
So back on Love Island when we first met Ekin-Su,
Yeah.
you're laughing because you know that I'm Love Island gal.
Yes. Obsessed.
When we first met her, people didn't like her at the beginning.
Right.
Viewers hated her. They were really, really like, oh no, she's playing the game, she's this, that, the other. And then everyone just grew to love that because they were like, she's great telly. And I just think that there's nothing wrong with someone that's great at their job.
So how did she get from here to here on Love Island? And do you think that she'll be able to replicate that on Big Brother?
Yeah.
But
I think so.
how did she do it? That's the thing.
The point that when I chatted to one of her pals off the Traitors US
Right.
yesterday, so American reality star Trishelle Canatella,
Yeah.
Trishelle said Ekin's had one nomination. In the house, they like her. Read the house.
So why is it that perhaps viewers at home are perhaps a little bit more divided? Because surely they're just hearing and seeing what the people in the house are hearing and seeing.
No, but they're not.
Oh, well, yeah, in theory, right, I see. So do you think that she's perhaps being unkindly edited?
There are people online. Just get myself comfy on this bench.
Yeah.
No, look, there are people online saying
Yeah.
she's not potentially being shown in the best light because on the live feed, it's all fun and games.
Right.
But maybe she's just involving herself with the wrong conversations. I don't know. We'll see. I think you're right. Next couple of days will be crucial.
So the relationship with her and Fern, is that atypical? In other words, everybody else she's getting on well with. Do you think that it's just her and Fern have a particular, they grate on each other?
I think maybe.
Right.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
Because, certainly there's 2 more people coming out on Friday. One of those might be Ekin.
Yeah.
But either way, that's more people that we can talk to about what's going on in that house. But do you know one thing I think's for sure?
Right.
That us writing about TV and talking about TV, I think we'll still be talking and writing about Ekin-Su in 5-10 years.
Really?
Yeah. Because she's one of those characters who is a TV cockroach. And I say that, no, that makes it sound bad, but she has staying power, I think.
You mean like after a
whatever she decides to do,
Yeah.
I think we will be talking about her for a long time.
So after nuclear Armageddon, it would just be Ekin-Su left behind, is what you're saying.
And Kim Woodburn and Olivia Attwood. And I love those people. But I think there's some people that reality TV have spawned
Yeah.
who deserve that place in the limelight.
Yeah, I agree with
Their
that.
talent is being famous.
Yes. And they do
Kim
it very
Kardashian,
well. Yeah, absolutely.
Her talent is being famous.
Yeah, absolutely. But
And I mean that in an entirely complimentary way, because being famous is not all it's cracked up to be. Is it?
Yeah. I don't know, I'm not famous, but you're talking you are.
Roddy, I'm a podcaster now. I don't know whether you've noticed.
I have noticed, yes. But no, well, I agree, because now this is her 4th reality show. You've got Love Island.
Yeah.
She did US Traitors, Dancing on Ice, and now this.
And she did do not forget Celebrity Antiques Road Trip.
Oh yeah, how could I forget that? So, well, that is 5. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And this is in the space of, 2 or 3 years?
Summer 22.
I mean, if she wins this, I think you're right, there will definitely be no stopping her. So I can't remember whether I actually graded her or not, but
No, go on.
I think she's an A minus. I feel like I've bumped up my grade just with you bigging her up there, but yeah, I think
We are in the Ekin studio, as we like to call it.
the Ekin studio. Well, I think she's definitely one to watch, I think she's been a pleasant surprise, but she needs to be very careful over the next few days. She has got the potential to divide people or bring people together.
Well, look, if she doesn't get nominated, then whatever the public think,
This
she's there.
is it. And the fact that so many people in the house seem to like it, apart from Fern, means that she probably won't get nominated. Ooh. So anyway, it's one to watch.
Wow. Rod, I am going to now score you for your appearance on the Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown podcast.
This wasn't in the script though, was it?
And, you know, all things considered, the fact that appraisal time is coming, I'm giving
I do
you...
her appraisal, it's not the other way around.
I'm going to give you an A+.
Oh, thanks, Flake. She had to.
So I've swapped Rod McPhee for a far younger model in Jack White, who is the Sun's senior showbiz reporter. He got the memo. We're all in black.
I did.
What are we in mourning for?
We're in mourning for Sharon.
Yes, I was going to say that. Yeah, I mean, I was excited for you to join us because you have reported on Showbiz for many years, and you're going to bring a more on-the-ground approach to Roddy. Particularly, you have met Louis. You've got a little story, haven't you, about the time you met Louis?
I don't think he'd recall our meeting, but I mean, he might, because he did react in a strong fashion.
So tell me this story. So you were, as part of like a press visit to the X Factor back in the day,
yeah.
And as part of that visit, you guys were backstage and you encountered the judges.
Yes. So, you know, we were there to watch the first episode. I think, you know, not meet the judges, but like do a Q&A with them, and you know, you're exploring. You know, you end up maybe in an area that you probably they didn't intend for you to be in, you know, and Louis was not impressed to discover that there were members of the press in his area, and it was like, you know, when he demanded the bed from Lauren.
Yes.
You know, it was like, he's got his boundaries. He's got his idea of the way the world should be, and having people. I don't think he likes to be surprised. I think, you know, he likes his routine.
Yeah.
He likes to
control.
He likes control. That's a very good word. He likes control. He likes to be at the top. He likes to be the top dog. And I think now Sharon's gone, we're going to see that.
Interesting. Yeah, because Rod and I were just saying this before you came in, that, yeah, he'll be wanting to be head of the house now.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a little thing there that I don't know whether it's because of the comments I've seen online. I feel like Louis was more than a bit jealous of Sharon, was more than a bit jealous of the attention she was getting, definitely more than a bit jealous of the room that she had. And, you know...
I'd be jealous of the room that she had.
Yeah, and if the reported fees are to be believed, he got paid half, but he's doing double the work.
Yeah.
So I think there's a bit of resentment there. Not on Sharon's part. I don't think she really cares.
No, fair. I completely agree. You're also here because you're chatting to someone about what it's like being in that house.
I am.
And maybe feeling... I mean, look, I always think this with celebrities. You can't help but... Even just normal people, we can't help but compare. You know, if you found out what I got paid and it was less than you, you'd be like...
Yeah.
Jazzy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason
or
why
you find out your colleague that's at the same level of you, or you know, fees is something that people compete about. The fact, different room, different desk in the office.
Absolutely.
Even in normal life, people are competitive about stuff. So the CBB house must be full of comparison, right?
Of course. I mean, obviously, I don't think they would air discussions about fees, but they must happen.
Yeah.
They must happen. Like, you're naturally going to be, you know, inquisitive about what someone else has got. But, you know, we've seen before, time and time again, the people that have just come off of like a reality show, you know, that aren't necessarily a big name. Like, remember when Megan McKenna did the show? She'd just done X on the Beach, no one knew who she was.
Yeah.
People like that get paid. I don't know how much Megan got, so I don't want to say, but people like that, they get the low fees, the 15 grand,
day
the 20
rate
grand.
vibes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you've got the top end, you've got the Sharons getting the half a million. You're going to want to know what they're getting. You're going to want to know, where have I been placed in the pecking order?
Yeah.
You know, what is my star power?
Yeah. God, I just find all that so interesting. But someone that you're speaking to, have spoken to for the Celebrity Big Brother Breakdown podcast is Nicola McLean.
She's done the show twice. After she'd been in the house the first time, she came back as an all-star when it was still on Channel 5.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
She, you know, is a Celebrity Big Brother all-star. She knows how the game works. It's very controversial. She's not afraid to say what she's, you know. what she's thinking,
Yeah.
and she's gonna know how they're feeling right now.
Yeah, so you chat to her about all kinds of things, about how they're feeling, Louis, these accusations of Ekin game playing.
I mean, she had a lot to say. She definitely she had a lot to say about Louis. But I think he's given us a lot to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. Should we hear from Nicola?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm loving Louis, and it's really annoying when the public like start turning against someone like Louis, because all he's doing is speaking the truth and bringing a bit of gossip. I mean, it'd be quite boring without him.
I knew you were going to be a Louis supporter. I just had a real gut feeling. But do you think that it's kind of something that's really divided the audience this week is his comments about Jedward saying they're vile, but they made him £5 million. Do you think he can sometimes go a bit too far?
No, I mean, I lived with Jedward. It was
of course,
hell.
yeah.
It was hell.
Yeah.
It really was, and okay, fair play if you love Jedward, that's fine. And I know Jedward has a lot of fans, and they've done so well for themselves. That's great. No one's denying that. I found them really hard to live with, and I found them really antagonistic, and I found them really contrived. And don't get me wrong, they earned the money in that house because they were non-stop. And I thought I'd love to live with them because I'm quite childlike and I'm on the go, but it was a lot. So no, I think if Louis thinks they're vile, so what? He's not said nothing. He's not been that offensive about them, has he? He said that he thought they were vile.
Yeah, I mean, and they were quick to get on social media and basically call him out and say the same thing back to him. So,
well, they got on social media, and fair play to them, because then it creates more headlines, and Jedward are back in the press.
Well, that's the thing. No one was talking about Jedward until 2 days ago, were they? So
yeah, now people are calling for them to go back in and confront him. I mean, I don't think Jedward are that offended by Louis Walsh calling them vile. I really don't. I don't.
No. But obviously, as you said, you lived with them, so you can kind of see where Louis is coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say they're vile because, you could see deep down they were nice boys, but I really feel like they were contrived. They played a game and they were really, really hard to live with. And I would say only like a couple of housemates didn't share the same opinion. So it's not just me before I get jumped on and hated on. We all felt the same about them. They were really hard work.
First nomination is going to be Louis. I just feel like Louis is a bit lazy and I prefer someone who's a team player.
Well, I don't know if you saw Leighton live last night, but she dropped a huge bomb during face-to-face nominations and out of the blue nominated Louis to his face after hearing the boos during the live eviction.
Oh, okay.
So I think that plays into, she's taking every move quite seriously here. The fact that Louis and Sharon had been her friends from day one, and then she just, stared at him and said he's lazy, he doesn't do any housework. But he wasn't doing any housework during the last nominations either, so...
Oh, I mean, I didn't see that. Can't wait for that. That is so harsh. And that, what really bothers me about when people moan about housework in Big Brother, right? No one goes into Big Brother wanting to wash the dishes, cook the food and do the housework, right? That's not what you're going in it for. But there's enough people that are quite happy to do it. Like when I was in there, both times I cooked. First time I cooked with Natalie Cassidy, and the second time I was in there, it was usually me and Heidi from Heidi and Spencer. Oh my God, still obsessed with them. But, people would muck in, but I was the main cook. I was really happy to do it because I was bored. And I'm a mum. I'm used to cleaning toilets. I'm quite happy to clean the toilets. Like, I wasn't going to moan if someone didn't wash up a cup. I find that so annoying. That is not a reason to nominate because you're lazy. Like, so what? Like, you don't have to make Louis cups of tea. I've heard people moan about the fact that he asked for cups of tea. Say no if you don't want to make it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But there's also nothing to do in Big Brother. Someone wanted me to make him a cup of tea. No problem, I'll make it. So that is annoying when people use that. But to stand someone that and she really has clung to Louis and Sharon. That's harsh. I don't care. See, I don't care about winning that much. So I could never have voted for anyone that I loved. Like I just couldn't have done it. Just even if I'd have heard the booing, if they were my friend in there, I'm not voting for them. 100. I'm not voting for them, especially because of the boos, because boos are really horrible.
Yeah, it seems like she kind of wants to separate herself from him now she's heard how the public have reacted to his comments.
That's horrible. I can't get on board with that. I'll have to watch it. But if that's the truth, then no, Ekin, that's so wrong. And Louis Walsh is a legend. I mean, I don't care. I'd be sticking with him. He's so funny, all his stories and stuff. Yes, I mean, I do think she's playing a game. People say David's playing a game, but I think Ekin is more than David.
Oh, she didn't hold back, did she?
Classic Nicola, she never disappoints.
CBB legend. I just love them. I love these celebrities that sort of like, they know what their job is, and Nicola knows what her job is.
I hate the ones that give you the really diplomatic responses. Like, we don't want that. You know, there's a reason that you go on these big shows. It's because you've got a big personality.
Exactly. I completely agree. Which kind of sort of awkwardly brings us on to Coulson Smith. So on last night's show, Levi, in a really clumsy manner, said, "You're not the one that I'd say is boring, but you're boring." And then, would you always, I love this, would you rather be described as annoying or boring?
Annoying.
Oh my God, same.
Like,
which is lucky because we're both annoying.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think there are many worse insults than being told that you're, you know, the most boring one out of the group, essentially, because it's just kind of like, well, if that's what you think of me, what do all the people watching the show think of me? You know, it's really quite cutting, and I can understand why he got upset.
Definitely. And I thought what was quite interesting is then on Late and Live, they were chatting to two of Coulson's Corrie castmates. And am I right in thinking that they also said that he was quite boring?
I agree with, it was Jack P. Shepherd, and I agree with what he said. He said that, you know, if being nice and, you know, not being involved in the drama and the bitchy, and if that makes you boring, then he's boring because he's a nice person and he's, you know, he doesn't want to be involved in that. And I think he's right. I mean, at the moment, unless you're Louis, Sharon, Ekin, you know, you're boring. To me, everyone in there, apart from Louis, Sharon and Ekin, no more Sharon, they're not, because we're not seeing them. We're not getting a chance to...
Yeah.
You know, they played a montage of Coulson after they spoke to Jack and Ben Price last night.
Yeah.
And it just showed, you know, he isn't boring. He just isn't getting the airtime. Maybe now Sharon's gone, she's not going to be dropping so many names.
Yeah.
We are going to get to see some of the other people.
Yeah, you're so right. It feels like we heard more about people that aren't even on the show. But then they're never going to get Adele, Ellen DeGeneres, James Corden, Simon Cowell on the show, are they? Well, you never know.
I never thought they'd get Sharon.
Well, I know. I don't think anyone did. That was amazing. What I thought was really sweet, but again, I think maybe shows how Coulson was feeling quite nervous about this. I think Ben Price also said that Coulson had kind of practiced his nominations because he was feeling quite nervous about that.
Yeah.
It sort of makes you feel like, why did he do the show?
I think it's quite flattering to be asked to do a show like that. He's just lost a lot of weight. Probably wants to show that off.
Yeah.
And soap stars don't get paid that much money. They, you know, I think the highest paid person on, you know, EastEnders gets 150k a year. So if you get the chance to, you know, top that up, you're going to, for 3 weeks in a house. But yeah, I mean, I think he's just a nice guy. I think the reason why he had to practice, you know, essentially slagging someone off is because he doesn't do that often.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And we quite often see this, I think, with soap stars when they go on these reality shows. So obviously ITV usually puts a Corrie or Emmerdale star in the jungle, for example. And we as the public really just closely align them with their character. So do you remember that year with the jungle when Ian Beale, Adam Woodyett went in and Simon Gregson was in at the same time? And Simon Gregson basically was Steve McDonald,
of course,
and so everyone loved it. But Adam Woodyett is not Ian Beale.
No.
And I think that it's a really funny relationship that we, British public, have with these soap stars.
Yeah.
And I think the same happened with Sue Cleaver when she was in The Jungle.
Yeah.
Eileen Grimshaw, very different from Sue Cleaver.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're having to completely introduce themselves.
Of
Not
course.
just get to know me more. It's, no, I'm not that person, I'm this person.
Well, the viewers have been watching these, what's Corrie on 3-4 times a week. So the viewers, it's a popular show as well. So they're seeing Colston in their living room 3 or 4 times a week, but playing someone else.
Yeah.
So this person they're seeing now is, he's not like Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, why is he being so different?
Yeah.
And soap fans are dedicated.
Yeah.
So
I always say this, they're the most loyal of all the TV fans. And the other thing that I always think is fun is that, so Nick Pickard was obviously in The Jungle, and Tony on Hollyoaks is actually quite overdramatic, problematic. So he sort of went into The Jungle with almost a bit of a negative stance, but then was able to prove that he was actually brilliant, fun, funny. And I sort of think that when you meet these people and they've not got someone writing a script for them, it's really interesting. And I think Coulson's... what I think I mean is that sometimes these soap stars come into a situation one step behind because they've not just got to show who they are, they've got to dispel that person and then show who they are.
Yeah, I think I would agree, and I think it's probably quite hard to do that because they've also got to adjust to being in a house with 10 people they've never met before.
Yeah.
And living with these people, and the cameras are on them 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, I would find it really hard.
Yeah, hard, really, really hard stuff. Right, do you want to hear what's going to happen on tonight's show?
I do.
So, we know from Later Live there's a rule break. Obviously, Louis again, twice. But my favourite thing about it, the little snapshot that we've seen, is Marisha says, I was basically put in that position by Louis.
I saw that. And I think when she was in the bed, though, she gave a very different response. Like when the rule break happened, she was laughing, but when put on the spot, she was annoyed and kind of blaming it all on Louis.
Yeah.
So
I don't think Lulu will like that.
no,
He'll think, no, don't stab me in the back. But I think even more surprising is it's the face-to-face nominations tonight, and Ekin nominates Louis.
this absolutely floored me. It was giving me crawling on the terrace vibes from Ekin.
So that was her famous Love Island moment when she was going behind Davide's back to go and have a snog with Jay. Yeah.
And crawling so no one could see her.
Yeah.
But she has literally, I don't want to say it, but has latched on to Louis and Sharon. They became quite close.
They're her crew, yeah.
They're her crew. And out of nowhere, she has literally shot, and you could Zizi's face. Sorry, I'm literally.
I can tell you are
excited.
like you are G'd up about it.
Zizi's face when it happened, I was like, that's how I feel, babe. That is how I feel too. And Louis was shocked, bless him, probably a bit hurt.
Yeah.
Is it because she heard the booze?
An interesting theory. Interesting.
That's all I can think
of. So what did she? So she said it was because he was lazy.
But he's been lazy.
Yeah, lazy Louis.
He was lazy during at the time of the last nomination.
Yeah.
She didn't nominate him then.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that she's playing a game because also it is a game and you do need to play it to win.
Yeah.
I just think that it's very convenient that she has turned. It's going to be very interesting to see how he reacts to that, and I can't see Louis entertaining that and having that around him, because to me that's quite fake. She hasn't discussed this with him prior. Who will she gravitate towards now? Sharon's gone and Louis is potentially really annoyed with her.
Yeah, you're so right. Yeah, so these face-to-face nominations, what I'm hearing is relationships and loyalty are tested to the max. The house is totally divided.
I mean, it's what we need. It's what we need. Now Sharon's gone, we need something like this.
Yeah, I agree. To me, it's giving Shakespeare.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like Ekin's having her
driving a stake through Louis' heart.
I know.
He's on the floor. He's completely blindsided by this turning event.
Yeah.
He didn't see it coming. He's lost Sharon, he's lost Ekin. Who is he going to gravitate towards now?
So my theory is he will pal up with Levi. Because obviously Sharon left Levi with that golden glow of her sort of recommendation and things. But do you know what I think? I just think it's going to become so messy these next few days.
People are desperate to win. People are desperate to go far.
Yeah.
They can say that they're not, but they are.
Yeah.
You don't go in there. Well, you go in there for the money, but you don't want to be the first one out. You don't want to be the second one out. You want to make it to the final.
Yeah.
It's going to get messy.
Ooh.
And it's going to be good.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, we will be here one more day this week, tomorrow at 5 p.m, for even more overanalyzing of these excellent situations, cleaning up the mess. And we'll see you then.